missed call the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Devastating loss to Georgia Tech, where they made significant coaching errors, but Miami, with all of these changes, obviously looking to churn over this roster and upgrade the talent level.
Don't sleep on Rick Pitino. Listen, at the end of the day, the portal is the portal, Mike. Don't matter where you came from, it's where you're going and how much money can you get.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. And it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness. And I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. Mm-hmm. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seat, the broken, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags to ready traffic, some kind of fucking shake it up, shdoobie, along with the notorious OG, Carver High. And of course, Mafia is back from the Carolinas, along with Luke, I am your father. By the way, Frank the Tank did say he wanted to beat Mafia's ass for the job. There may be something brewing in terms of a bare-knuckle situation right here. Today, Morency from Vancouver, every time he goes to a Canuck game, they lose. When he doesn't go, they win. Coach Young will join us on the Lion's Share. Of course, your boy Davis Lee Roth-Matic from Fantasy Sports Today, also on the show today. And how about this combo meal? Smiley Kaufman and Adam Kaufman, long-lost cousins. One, a golf fanatic, the other, a Boston fanatic. We'll have them all on today's C2C. Hope you had a great Mother's Day yesterday. I know I enjoyed my dinner I went out to, but I did not enjoy the massacre before dinner, which was the Knicks bloodletting at the field house in Indianapolis, Carver High.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't fun if you were a Knicks fan, that's for sure. I'll tell you that at least you didn't have to watch after the second quarter, right? I mean, you didn't have to watch. You watched the whole match? You watched the whole thing? You watched it all the way to the end?
I felt like I had it coming.
All right. Well, and then they double back and you get hit with that big bill at the dinner afterwards, right? For Mother's Day, you got the big bill after.
I'm still reeling from that.
I knew
it was going to be a long night when the young gun ordered lobster at market price.
Oh, it's like that. The young gun going big with the lobster. Spend some time down in the West Coast. Now he's a lobster
filet
guy.
Medallions to go with it. It was like he was going to the electric chair. 2 plates of food for this kid.
Little surf and turf for the young gun. He's home, and he's letting you know that he's home for a couple of months with that meal. I had everybody at the house yesterday. I had everybody over.
Did Liz
I
have
had
a nice Mother's Day?
We had Nicole's parents over. Everybody had a nice Mother's Day. I got everybody in the basement, and I got the setup down there, and I got the golf on one TV, and I got the Knicks game on the other TV. So I'm trying to keep involved with everything that's going on. It was nice to have a good Sunday there at the house. I didn't have to go run all over Long Island to everybody else's places, so that's always helpful. So yes, the Knicks, they got destroyed in Indy. That's going to come back to the Garden now, Scotty, 2-2. We will talk about that today. How this series has changed in a big way here, obviously. And the thing I think the Knicks can still win this series, Scotty, but I'm not sure they can win a game in that building. And they're going to have to win these 2 games at the Garden if they're going to move on.
I think you're right, and I think they're shot. I think they're beat up. I think they're tired. I think one thing positive about it is that I didn't hear any excuses. They got their ass worked, and that was it. And then, get on the plane, go home, and get focused. There was no crying. There was no whining. There was no Luka 48 minutes of temper tantrums with the refs and getting every call imaginable in the NBA. The way they gift wrap that guy games, it's like they're fixing games for him. It's so unbelievable. The Knicks just bent over and took it like a man.
Yeah, there was really nothing else to say in that second half. They go 2-2. The other series also 2-2 now after Denver's win in Minnesota last night. So the road team has won all 4 games in that series. I just got a feeling, and I know Minnesota did it. They won the first 2 games there, Sky. I don't think they're going to win another game in Denver. I think that the Nuggets have refound themselves here in this series, 2-2 going home.
Well, you knew that it was different when you saw Aaron Gordon go 11 of 12 from the floor, perfect from 3, perfect from the line. It was phenomenal. And then you don't usually see the Joker throwing down tomahawk steak dunks, and he was. And he had his game all involved last night. It was rapidly evolving throughout the game. The footwork, the mini hooks, his hook passes on one post to the other with a double team on him. His vision was all on display last night in Minneapolis. He was absolutely unstoppable, unguardable. It was unthinkable watching him play. I was like, this guy's a freak. I'm at dinner, and I said to, the family, I said, he wins the 3rd MVP. He's like, I love hockey, the speed, the avalanche. I don't skate. I love horse racing. When I am no longer good at basketball, I go home.
That's it. We'll talk about that later. I've even got some Ant Edwards for you as he's fired up for these last 3 games. Anthony Edwards, he wants to get involved heavily. He had a big night last night. Unfortunately, the rest of the Timberwolves did not.
Remember, big nights don't count when you lose.
Big nights don't count. You drop 40-plus and you lose. What happens? Who cares? You drop 40 points, you lose.
I had 36 and lost. He said, you suck.
You suck. That's how it goes. We have 2 games tonight. We have the Celtics up 2-1 in Cleveland.
What?
We have Dallas up 2-1 at home against OKC. As the Thunder now, Scotty, they're going to need to get themselves back involved in this series tonight in Dallas.
They're up against it. I think you see how the books feel about them tonight. It's only 1.5 because they have to throw it all on the line tonight. They lose tonight, their season will end at some point in the next couple of games. They go down 3-1 to Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. You are meat.
Speaking of 3-1, we have that in the NHL now with the Florida Panthers. They get a win in Boston. They win both games in Boston. Of course, controversial officiating with the goal that tied the game at 2 last night in Boston.
What did you think of that call?
I probably would have said no goal. I think that he was pushed into the goalie. I probably would have said no goal on that one. But it's weird, Scotty, because the ones that they don't overturn, you think they're going to. The ones you think they're going to overturn, they don't. You could never quite figure it out with the replay officials.
I was surprised that it happened in Boston, that they shafted the home team. And then the other thing I was surprised about, because I was on them at $1.30, and they were up 2-0, and they blew it. I mean, that's just all. You can blame the refs. You can blame your mother. Blame whoever you want. They lost, and they're doomed. Marchand didn't play, and they're playing a team that A, is better than them, and B, is inside their heads for 2 years now. They are literally, as we like to call it, living rent-free in the penthouse floor, and the shrimp cocktails are free.
The shrimp cocktails are free. We'll talk about that. We have Vancouver up 2-1 after a win in Edmonton last night with this kid goaltender that they found out of nowhere, making 40-plus saves. So they now have a lead. We have 2 games tonight. Rangers looking to close out the Hurricanes at the Garden up 3-1, and the Stars up 2-1 in Colorado. So similar spot for Colorado, Scotty, as you know, they got to get this even 2-2 before they head back to Dallas. We will talk about that. We have golf today as well. How about Rory, Scotty? Winning at the Wells Fargo for the 4th time in his career as he heads to Valhalla this week. The last time he won a major at Valhalla, and the PGA Championship, a heavyweight affair here with Scheffler, Rory, and Brooks all having won the last time they played heading into this major.
I think it's the coolest name for a golf course ever, and I think they've had 4 majors there. The last time he was there, as you said, he won it. He's hot since New Orleans. I'm into what he did when it was Xander up a stroke going into Sunday. I still felt like Rory was going to kick his ass, and he did. He's hot. If he's ever going to do it, it's going to be now. I can't wait for the PGA Championship in Louisville at Valhalla.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those 2 guys, those 2 monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Every missed call, the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
This sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's the BetMGM offer of the week. Get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. For all the games, all season long. Come out swinging with picks and parlays and turn any game into a must-watch. Download the BetMGM app and it's on.
So you can check out Sports Rage weeknights Nights, late night at 10 Eastern till 1 a.m. with Morency and friends on SportsGrid, all of our OTT platforms, all of our radio outlets, including Mightier 1090, ESPN Radio in San Diego, from Mexico to the Canadian Rockies, all over the West Coast at night, booming. Of course, Sports Byline and all their great affiliates, and SiriusXM channel 159. You can catch Morency on Coast to Coast Daily at this same time in this same bat channel, same bat slot. Morency, good to see you. I hope you had a great weekend. I know you went to the game Friday, and you've seen him win one, and that was against Nashville. You've seen him lose one. That was to the Oilers 4-3. You've said on this show from the jump that Vancouver would win this series, and they went out to Edmonton, and they won last night. I thought Besser played great. I thought the Canucks played great. They built the 3-1 lead. They won it 4-3. What has it been like to go to the games in Vancouver, and your thoughts overall on how the series is developing?
Well, this series, Scott, is turning into an old school 80s, early 90s, full out Western Conference Canadian hate, right? There used to be the Battle of Alberta with Edmonton and Calgary, but Vancouver were in that mix in the 90s, in the late 80s, and you can just feel it, especially after Connor McDavid got lit up at the end of the game last night. Zadorov puts Kane into the Oilers bench. This is not a soft Vancouver Canucks hockey club. I tell you, Scott, years ago, I started going to Canuck games, and I was like, this is the softest team I've ever seen. Like, softer than Michel Therrien is soft. Man, these guys are soft like I'd never seen before. like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Michel Therrien, like that was the greatest outburst. He goes, man, I swear they tried to be the softest D-men in the league. He goes, okay. Like, you know, I would watch Vancouver and I'd be like, man, you guys are just like, they'd get run over and pushed around, and here we are, like 4 or 5 years later, man, and they got a bunch of 6'6", like mean-ass Russians and like a bunch of dudes that'll put you through a wall, and it's real. Like, the animosity is real. It's a lot like, I would say, you know what, like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia in the playoffs. Remember those old-school rivalries?
Right.
When you get two Canadian cities, like on the West Coast like this, it gets personal. I've already had people, like, abandon being fans of mine, Scott, 3 games in. 3 games in. I've had people last night. I had some dude tell me that I've lost my rage and I've changed because I'm not calling it like it is. I said, oh, yeah, I've lost my rage because your goalie sucks.
Yeah. It's your fault.
Like, Oiler fans are flipping out. Yeah, it's my fault, Scott.
It's your fault.
Really fun series, though.
Like you were playing.
But the thing is, how about this, though, bro? I was thinking about it. Like, okay, I've been to one win and 1 loss. They've only won 1 home game, Scott. They've been dominant on the road. They've won. They're 5-0 on the road, this team. They won all their games at Nashville, and now they just won again at Edmonton. Like, there's something to it. Like, they're better on the road, this team. I tweeted about it last night. I'd rather get the Canucks at, like, plus 165 on the road than, like, you know, pick them or lay a price at home. I'm telling you, they're a better road team. They just kill it on the road, this team, Scott, for whatever reason.
So let me ask you, you had a fan say he's done with you and you've lost your edge. You're no longer the Ranger.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I saw you gain fans with those 2 smoke shows you sat with at the game the other night.
Yeah, like that. Hey, you see, I sit down. There's one empty seat. I look over. You never know where, you know what I mean? I got in. There was one empty seat in the row, and I'm like, I think I'm down there. So I sort of go in. I look over, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be a good night. This isn't too bad. They were stoked, too. They were like, finally someone with some energy. I was like, let's roll. let's roll. I think by the end of the night, they were a little bit like, whoa, this guy really is pretty crazy. But, yeah, we had a good time. Listen, a hockey game is great live in person. You can argue it's the best sport to see live. It probably is. And then you throw in a playoff game, bro. It's just, there's something to it. I've been to a lot of sporting events over the years, and I'm not going to say I'm jaded, but, you know, I've been to a lot of stuff. But I'm really enjoying going to the Stanley Cup playoff games, Scott. I wish I could go to more of them. You know, I'm trying to go to the weekend games. I made an exception for that Friday night one, but we'll let it play out and see how it plays out down the road here.
I think
I said Canucks in 6.
I think it should be SportsGrid law that you go to the games. It should be written in the books that it doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday, a Friday, a Thursday, a Wednesday, or a Sunday. You should be at the game and bring that game to the network the following day. You should be at all games. So it is written, Mafia. So it is done. We will put it in the books. I agree. Tonight, do the Rangers finish off the Canes? And speaking of hot teams on the road, Dallas seems to win every game they play on the road, and they did it again in Colorado. Will they do it again tonight?
Let's start off with the Rangers, and I think the Rangers will finish the Hurricanes off. The Canes are a dangerous team. The Rangers understand this. It's going to be a tough game tonight, but everything is going the Rangers' way. You know, no need to panic right now because they lost a hockey game. I think the Knicks are in some trouble right now, Scott. But the Rangers, I think the Rangers do get it done tonight. I think Colorado actually respond. I think we're going 7 games in this series. Dallas, you're right. Dallas have been amazing on the road. It's hockey. You're better off. There's no home ice advantage in hockey. There just isn't. You look across the board in these series, it backfires being at home for whatever reason. I don't know if you get caught up in the crowd. I don't know if it's because your family's there or whatever it is. It's real. But the Rangers have been different. They've been dominant at MSG. I like the Rangers tonight, but I think the Avs get it done tonight, Scott.
When we come back, we'll talk to Morency about those said Knicks and the games tonight in Cleveland and in Dallas. We're talking to the Ranger himself. He has not lost his edge.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for, so I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Tell me about the kid, Seeloffs, the Latvian goalie, before we get into these NBA games tonight.
This kid is unbelievable. Seriously, this story is an unbelievable story. But shout out to Art, old school buddy of mine who's now killing it in the NHL world. So Art tweeted this out last night about Arthur Seeloffs. Tom Brady and Arthur Seeloffs, what do they have in common? They're both 6'4". They were both drafted in the 6th round. They both replaced an injured starter. They both won their first playoff game in a late comeback overtime win. I'm telling you, there's something special about the Seelovs kid. I was there. I saw Patrick Waugh do it twice, all right? I saw him do it in 86, and I saw him do it in 93. But 86, he was the kid. Patrick Waugh came out of nowhere. He was a kid. He was skinny as hell.
Right.
And he was just this pale kid, and he said, I'm going to stop every puck, and we're going to win the Stanley Cup. And it was like, whoa. And he turned into a legend. I'm not, we're not going that far yet with Seelovs, but dude, this is special, Scott. Like, he is dialed in, this kid. And he's only 23 years old. He played in 4 NHL hockey games. He's a 6th-round draft pick. He wasn't like a big prospect in their system. And in fact, they put him on loan to the East Coast Hockey League, Scott. When you're on loan to the East Coast Hockey League, it means, yeah, whatever, kid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not anymore.
Like, you're on loan to the East Coast Hockey League. He played, he played himself into the organization. He played well in the AHL, and they were like, you know what? Let's give the kid a chance. And Rick Tocchet likes him. It just sort of has that, you know what? I trust the kid. Think about it. He only played 4 games in the NHL, Scott. A lot of faith. You know what I mean? Casey DeSmith, say what you will about him. They said, no, this Seelovs kid. And his confidence is growing. I love what he said, too. He said, I like the fact that I see the same players all the time. He goes, I learn more and more about him every game. Like, he's soaking it in. And last night, after they said to the Oilers, Leon Draisaitl, so what do you say about Seelovs? This kid's unbelievable. He said, goalpost isn't good goaltending. And the coach refused to say Seelovs is playing well. He's in their head right now. This kid is just playing great hockey. Fun story, Scott, this kid.
Yeah,
barely
no
speaks
doubt.
English, doesn't even talk to anyone on the team.
So just the way goalies like it. So let's shift to the NBA tonight in Cleveland and in Dallas. I've already gone on record a number of times. I can't take the Luka behavior and the calls and his screaming and crying for 48 minutes and giving the refs the business and nothing ever
The Connor
happens. He
McDavid
just
of the
gets every
NBA.
call. I mean, it's so aggravating. I can't even watch their games. I hate him so much. Meanwhile,
But they are
going
gonna win tonight.
He is a great player. And who do you like in that game, and who do you like in the early game in Cleveland?
You know, I had a hard time fully buying into Luka and to Kyrie because they're kind of inconsistent. I wondered about the supporting cast, even though at times they played well. Just overall, I didn't see it enough. But it's starting to become clear right now that Oklahoma City just are still a year or two away, aren't they? Right? Chet Holmgren was really struggling without him. He's hit like three-point shots. He shot 37% in the season, Scott. There's a big difference. There's a big drop-off. They're not scoring as much. I just think that the veteran presence that the Mavericks have, guys that have been in the league, guys that have been in playoff series before, it's starting to show to me right now. So give me the Dallas Mavericks tonight. And even the coach of Oklahoma City is kind of starting to see and admit that his team's unraveling a little bit. So I don't think it's a good sign for them. They might have another win left in them, but I like Dallas tonight. And as far as Boston, every time, Scott, do you think Boston's like turn that corner? Can they do it again? Are they going to smoke them again tonight? I don't really trust the Cavs tonight, but I'm not in love with the Celtics toniait. I don't like this Celtic team, Scott. I'm waiting for them to fail, to be honest, but whatever, dude. They're playing the Cavs and the Heat, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Wait till they play a real team. They'll lose.
Yeah, but I don't know if it will be a real team. Let's say the Knicks were to get by somehow miraculously this Pacer team with as banged up and tired and shot as they are and how they got their ass beat yesterday. There's no way that team with 5 or 6 players is beating the Boston Celtics.
No, and the Celtics would beat the Pacers in a track meet series most likely as well. So then it gets to the NBA Finals, which I thought Minnesota were ready to take that next step, Scott, but evidently not.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, that the Joker Gordon performance last night. Joker, everything he did worked, and then Gordon missed one shot the entire game.
That
hit all
sequence
his
at
threes,
the end of
all
the
his
half?
free throws. Yeah, the bomb from Murray at the half. He knew it was time to go nighty-night. All right, Morency, we'll see you on Sports Edge at 10. Thanks.
Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Know for certain that Morency turned those two hot chicks the other night, Friday night, into BetMGM mobile app First Bet 1500 fans. They both signed up, put 10 in their new account, placed a bet on the game for $1,500 each. They both lost. Once the wager was settled, it was like magic. Boom, right into their account, $1,500 in bonus bets the minute the initial wager is settled. And he was walking around the arena doing it with people all night. Everybody's talking about it. The BetMGM 1,500 paid back bonus bets deal. It's huge. Check it out at BetMGM.com or go to iOS or Android to download the BetMGM mobile app. All right, Carver High. I knew there was going to come a point when I had to talk about the KY Jelly night at the OK Corral at the Field House in Indianapolis. What an awful day. You know, I was like settling in. I did betting above the rim with Coach, and all I talked about was the stress I was under for the game to tip at 3:40 or whatever. And that when the show ended, I said, I'm barely going to be able to make it. I'm so stressed out. I'm a wreck. I got to go to this expensive dinner. I just want to watch the Knicks win. And then it was 34-11, and I'm sitting there, and I went, this game's over.
Finished. Absolutely finished. 34, ended up being 34-14 at the end of the first quarter. They were up almost 30 at halftime. 121-89 was the final. The Pacers got out to a very fast start, Scotty. In the first quarter, everything was going in on ABC ESPN.
Top of the extra pass. Shepard a three. That's good. Obi topping a three. Another one.
Oh,
no. The Pacers exploding out of the game.
Oh, no.
Alley-up to Toppin. What a haymaker the Pacers have thrown here in the first.
Highlights. It's just endless, one after the next. And even worse, Obi-Wan Kenobi highlights. Thanks a lot. Just let me take this shaft out of my chest.
It was hard to pick just one. I mean, and that was all, by the way, that was all in the first quarter. That was all first quarter stuff right there. Obi Toppin did have 14 off the bench for them. McConnell had a double-double, 15 and 10. Knicks did not get much from anyone, Scotty. I guess if the one thing the Knicks got to do is, Hart didn't have to play 48 minutes for once. We'll get to him in a moment. Let's start with Rick Carlisle first. Obviously a 2-2 series now. We've been back and forth. The home team's won all 4 games. Carlisle expects the Knicks to bounce back in New York.
New York is a team that has shown that it has an indomitable will, to compete and rise above anything people say they can't do. And we've seen it throughout the season. We've seen it, in this series.
Didn't see it yesterday.
We're believers in that, and so we got to focus on us.
Didn't see it yesterday.
Listen, there's nothing I like more than watching the Dirty Dog have 18 rebounds in the game before that, but he looked absolutely gassed. And when he was on the sideline with that towel on his head, he looked like he needed his mommy on Mother's Day. He looked depressed. And, Brunson is legitimately banged up. I thought they missed a horrible foul on that 3 where he got his ankle rolled when he wasn't allowed to land. I know they've got Naismith in his face. And then the other thing that really is starting to upset me is, as you know, I'm not a fan of little dudes. And T.J. McConnell talking Shaq. I've had about enough of that. He's got a mouth on him talking smack to players and acting like he's some kind of badass. I won't deny he's played great, and he plays it in a 6th gear, but someone needs to bring him down to size. Like, you know what I would do? With all of his drives to the bucket, his head's coming off. You want to come down in here into the trees, you better bring a tent to stay overnight, because you're not coming out of the forest if I'm playing. I'm telling you, come down there, I'm breaking your neck. I don't care who he is. I will body slam him with his head pile driven into the floor. Meanwhile, they just let him go in and shoot layups. Nobody touches him. Someone's got to teach him a lesson. That's all there is to it. You think Bill Laimbeer or Dennis Rodman would have let him go in and shoot layups?
Look, no, I do not think that would have happened. I think we clearly have to look and see. Now, maybe things will change when they get back to New York with the home crowd, but that whole performance that Carlisle did after Game 2, Scotty, I don't know if it not just resonated with the refs, but maybe also with the Knicks, because you heard him doing that whole, their physicality gets rewarded, ours doesn't. Where'd it go? Like you said right there, it kind of disappeared, and maybe things unravel too fast because it becomes a blowout. But that performance that he did after Game 2, I think it helped out for his Pacers clearly in these next 2 games.
Well, I think it got them going, and I don't believe that they lost the games in Indy because of the refs. It was 106 all. Brunson took a terrible 3 that was an air ball. He tried to get an Oscar performance. Nobody fouled him. It was just a terrible play, and he tried to pull it off, and it was garbage. It was a hack shot. And that's why they lost. It was 111-106. Good night, Irene. And then yesterday, the refs had nothing to do with that game at all. They missed the call on Brunson landing. The only reason that bothered me is because he got injured. And the NBA brags about that rule is for the safety of players landing on threes. And they, call it all year long. They call it every time a guy doesn't let the shooter land, it's automatically called by every ref in the league. Woman, man, doesn't matter, 100% of the time. And then in a Game 4 of an Eastern semi, you don't call it. I think that's bullshit, is what I think. I'm giving you one call. I thought the refs did a good job in the games in India. I had no problem with the refs. But that was a terrible miss, because he did roll his ankle. And he's already got a bad foot. And now he's got another bad foot because it wasn't the same foot. Now he's got both feet hurt. And what isn't he carrying in terms of injury baggage right now? That cat is legitimately beat up badly. And I do not believe for 1 minute, and you can quote me on this, I do not believe that Luka Doncic is injured at all. Because every time he has the ball, he's 100% and going to the 10 and getting an and one and making a free throw, shooting 3, step back, dagger. He's doing drag, dribble drives. Every time he has the ball, he looks like he's 18 years old. And when he doesn't have the ball, he's screaming and yelling at refs, throwing his arms at refs, telling them how bad they suck. And name one time you've seen in the NBA a player go like this to a ref after a call that they don't get tacked up. It's 100% in modern time. 100% of the time. You spike a ball, tack. You throw your hands at the ref that he sucks, tack. Every time. Every single time. But this guy gets away with it 15 times a game. And I think that it's like the games are fixed for him. The NBA wants this guy in the finals so bad that they don't call texts that they would call on every player in the league every night. They don't call on him. But they'll let, I don't believe he's injured at all. I think he's a phony. Yeah. I think he's a great player that's unstoppable, but he's a phony ass. And I think Brunson is legitimately banged up.
Look, I agree with you on that aspect. It's getting a little tiring with him after every game. The press conference, he's up there like he just ran 4 New York City marathons in a row, and that he's got nothing left. And Halliburton did the other day too. Like the video of him basically barely being able to walk off of the
Larry Bird.
And then he comes out and he didn't look like he had a problem yesterday. I know that.
What do you have in the 2 games? He had 35, and yesterday he did whatever he wanted with his back brace on. What's next? A flak jacket? I mean, honestly.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the 2nd or 3rd inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for, so I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Well, Mike, I know Tibbs cannot be happy. That had to be an unpleasant 2-hour flight.
Very unpleasant 2-hour flight. Like you said earlier, the Knicks really did not make any excuses for what happened to them yesterday. I've got 3 quick ones for you. First, here's Tibbs, clearly not thrilled after losing by 30 points.
In this one?
Yep. Fell behind early. Didn't respond well. So, got to fix it.
How do you fix, I guess, dead legs? Is it just rest and recovery? What do you do from there?
Get ready for the next one.
Yeah, there's no time for, crying and whining like Doncic to get his way and take his ball and go home to his mommy and get his binky and his bottle of fake milk. Honestly, the Knicks I think they're the toughest team in the NBA. No excuses. And, I mean, the same thing I'm sure you got from the Dirty Dog. Let's listen to him and Brunson. I know that the two of them aren't crying.
Brunson basically said there's no excuses here. I'm not hurt. Nobody's hurt. We're playing.
One of the differences there, they got guys with fresher legs than you guys right now.
I mean, we can talk about fresher legs. We can give us all the pity that we want. Yeah, we're shorthanded, but that doesn't matter right now. We have what we have, and we need to go forward with that. So there is no we're shorthanded. There is no excuse. There's no excuse whatsoever. Now, if we lose, we lose. So that's what that was.
Yeah, listen, you have guys that know they have to go out and ball. It's real simple. Like, today I played with 10 guys, and there were no subs, no excuses. Just shut up and play. I'm tired. Whatever. What is tired? Like, don't play basketball then. I've never met anyone that played basketball that wants to come out of a game. I've never met one. Mafia played with me. You had to pull him out of the game with a chain. We had to get a tractor and like grind him off the floor. You play on weekends. You play 10, 15 games till you're half dead. No one ever wants to stop balling. I've never heard that in my life. Oh, now that you're in the game 4, game 5 of the Eastern semis, I mean, you're so tired. Don't you just want to pack it in and quit and go home? I mean, what is this? This is like Sissyville. Like, show the F up and ball. And if you got 6 guys, then ball. What I want to see is none of that hack-ass bench of theirs get 1 minute. Not 1 minute. I mean, if it's a 6-man route, then go with it. Because the garbage time hacks they had out there last night, led by Jericho Sims. I mean, that guy should be a chef at a restaurant or something. He shouldn't even be playing with me on Fridays and Saturdays. He's so awful. I don't care what anybody says. No more hacks. Stop playing hacks.
Daquan Jeffries and Sugar Shake Milton. Those guys getting burned.
Jeffries thought he was doing an audition for a gig. He was chucking from everywhere.
And last one, here's Josh Hart. Of course, this is the first time Hart didn't play
dog.
a whole game in a while. He got to get himself a little bit of extra rest. He wasn't happy about it.
I don't know. I mean, I put that on my shoulders. I'm supposed to be, the energy guy of the team. I didn't do anything. I gave nothing. So I put that on my shoulders. But now we just got to focus on resting, recovering, and like I said, get ready for Tuesday.
I mean, it's going to be really fascinating to see how if they recover from that beating. I have never in my life seen a worse performance in a playoff game by any NBA team. I can never remember seeing a team down 43 in a playoff game in my life. So I don't know how you recover from it. I asked Coach last night, late night, can they recover from this? And I think he said no.
Well, the books don't think that they're going to recover from it either, Scotty. That's because the Pacers are now favored to win the series. -135. It is a best of 3 now with 2 games in the Garden. Knicks plus $110. I do not think that they are completely dead here, Scotty. In fact, I think that this series right now, I think this series has Game 7 at the Garden on whenever that's going to be next weekend. I think it's got it written all over it, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, the stress. I can't even take it. I can't even take it. Honestly, I can't take it. It was so bad. Like, I told Coach, I said, I'm betting above the rim, I'm like, I can't watch this guy, Doncic. I hate him so much that I'm going to have another open heart surgery. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to watch Shogun on Hulu. 1600, those people lobbing heads off. It's fantastic. I can't get enough of that violent show. I love people getting macheted and have their heads cut off. Fantastic stuff. They do that in New York City, too. They do it down in Soho. You'll either get one or the other. Someone will chop your head off or shoot you. How about your boy Buscemi got sucker punched right in the face the other night down on 27th and 3rd. Just walking down the street, broad daylight for breakfast. Whap! Right in the face. Some guy clocked him. for no reason at all. Didn't even know who he was. Didn't know he was an actor. Just a guy walking down the street. I'm going to just punch this guy in the face. Anybody does that to me, you're getting something back. I'm going to roll you. I'm going to truck you. I'm going to take a rock. There's going to be something. Something's going to happen. Because I walk every day, and so do you. I've had enough of it. Like, I don't trust anybody. I see old ladies. I don't trust them either.
I was right about that. If they do play 7, Scotty, it would be Sunday at the Garden. That would be Game 7, Sunday at 3:30 on the Holy Day.
God involved in this.
Lined up with the back 9 of the PGA Championship too, which is not ideal for me.
Valhalla. And I think Valhalla is the. I think that's heaven for the Vikings, right? Isn't Valhalla heaven for the Vikings?
Game 7 and the back 9 going to line up together if there is one. Not ideal. Not an ideal situation. So there you go. We will come back and get into because we are about to go to break. The Nuggets beat the Timberwolves 115-107. That series is now also tied at 2 games apiece. You had some big nights here for Aaron Gordon. We will hear from Michael Malone and Anthony Edwards. We got a couple from Edwards. He was pretty good after the game last night when we come back, Scotty. So go 2-2 going back to Denver.
I think Ann is now with the firm opinion that others are talking smack on the Nuggets. And he said, I want all that smoke. You keep talking. I got something for you. You know, you got to win the games. You put up 44 and lose. You can't talk.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the 2nd or 3rd inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
I know we're going to talk about the Nuggets. I just want to say this before I forget. As you know, I forget a lot of things, Gerber. Borrega or JJ for the Lakers job. James Borrega or JJ.
Who?
Is that his name? What's his name? Anyway, so what could be worse than getting the job of the head coach of the Lakers and having to coach LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who are coach assassinators? That's what they are. They don't just get you fired. They assassinate you. You coach those two guys. It's the kiss of death. And then what's worse is, no one ever says this or admits it, James blames coaches for why his teams lose instead of himself. That's a fact. He blames coach. He blamed Darvin Ham. Remember his little temper tantrum on the court when he was like, they didn't call a timeout? This guy is a coach assassinator. I don't care what anybody says. Take a look. Just take a look. He's mowing through him now like he's mowing the yard.
Borrego was the head coach of the Hornets for 4 seasons, from 19 through 22.
Boring.
Pretty much just a bunch of under 500 seasons. The best season he had is the one that they whacked him after. He went 43-39. They fired him after that year. That would be very uninspiring to me, Scotty. If that, trying to keep LeBron, which is what they're trying to do right now, by the way. I don't think it's 100% that he's going back, and we'll get into the LeBron-y stuff and the draft later on. But James Borrego, that's a little out of nowhere for me.
That's embarrassing.
That doesn't sound like something it's like hiring Darvin Ham again.
I was just gonna say that it's worse than Darvin Ham.
It's a retread. Come on.
It's like eating meat in your fridge that says best if sold by, and it's 12 days earlier, and you still eat it.
Have fun, I guess. Aaron Gordon had a big night for the Nuggets. He had 27. He was 11 of 12 from the floor, all over the place on TNT last night.
Good hard feed. Caldwell slammed in. Parachuting in was Aaron Gordon.
Watch your head. Perfect now.
And cross-court Brown. Down low Gordon. Shot clock at 2. This is over Gobert.
Oh, my goodness.
Big time hit.
And remains perfect.
Listen, it's disrespectful of Jokic to not comment on how brilliant he was last night, because he really dominated the game. But Gordon was better. Gordon was near flawless, near perfect. I mean, literally 11 of 12 from the floor, 2 of 2 from deep, perfect from the line. I thought he was fantastic. 27, 7, and 6. Joker, 35, 7, and 7. They don't usually see the Joker throwing down tomahawk steak dunks, but he did. He had it all going last night. And you're just watching that team, and you're like, uh-oh, the champs have woke up.
That's precisely what head coach Michael Malone said afterwards as well, Scotty. From down 0-2 to now a 2-2 series, heading back home, proud of his team.
What I found is Rudy T is right, man. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. Yeah, I mean, they were quick to write us off, but these guys, we won a championship a year ago. You know what I mean? We went into Miami, won 2 games in a row. Like, this team has been tested time and time again, and we found a way to solve whatever's been thrown at us. This series is a long way from being over. We're not celebrating. It's 2-2. So now you have to find a way to win Game 5. But what I found about our group is that they do believe in themselves, and more importantly, they believe in the man next to them. And, we have a group that is acting as you would hope a championship team would act.
I have to tell you, Mike, this is real simple for me. I think Rudy Gobert is a P, and I think Cat Towns is fat and slow and can't handle the responsibility of dealing with Joker or anybody else for that matter. I think, Rudy Gobert, the defensive player of the year, at stopping what? He couldn't stop a mosquito on your arm. I mean, honestly, they used him like a rag doll. I mean, it's as simple as that. They have 2 7-footers that can't do anything against this talented team. How many dunks? How many threes? How many hooks? How many layups? How many shots from inside 3 feet?
I agree. And you know what else? That 3 full days off last week, it changed this series. They had him on the ropes. If they would have played the next night, every other night, I think Denver would have been in trouble. They reset, Scotty, with those 3 full days off last week. It helped them.